And so you reach out maybe by calling or emailing, or maybe they have, like on our website, we have a scheduled appointment setter. So you just go in and you pick the time, a Calendly link in our website, then boom, we're scheduled to come show up at your facility at a time of your choosing. And so we show up. We do something very important when we arrive. The first thing we do is we listen. We listen very carefully to what specific needs you have in your building. What are your pain points? What's the reason you called? What's not working? And let's figure out a plan to make that happen efficiently and everything else you need to have happen. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cleaning Indie Podcast, brought to you by American Facility Care. I'm your host, Tom Moore. I'm the co-founder of American Facility Care, and we like to talk about all things facility and building related. Are you a facilities director or property manager, or even the point person in charge of your building? Then this podcast is for you. Today, we're going to talk about something very interesting that happened over the last couple weeks. We did a poll. We put a poll out on LinkedIn, one of the groups that we're a part of. It's a facility manager group on LinkedIn. And we got a little over 700 facility managers directly respond to this poll. And there are 4 poll questions, and we'll get into what those were in a second. So we're going to talk about that. Then secondly, we're going to talk about, within the poll, it's revealed what the top pain points for facility managers are when transitioning cleaning company contractors. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the transitioning process to your next cleaning company. But first, let me give you a little insider tip. This is an insider information from a cleaning business owner to you, the facility or property manager. And that is this. We as a cleaning company used to do a service that we no longer do anymore. The word focus, if you look at it as an acronym, says follow one course until success. And I brought a little show and tell prop here if you happen to watch the video of this. This is a high-vis shirt. And yes, we used to wear these shirts on construction sites, and we used to do post-construction cleaning. When you're a newer company, everything is shiny in a sense to you, and you take on anything that's presented to you, anything that really comes your way. And the problem with this is you're a jack of many trades, but a master of none. Construction cleaning, at the time it was great. It had some great, powerful rewards that came with it, but also definitely for sure it had challenges. Many of the challenges that we faced, one of which was trying to keep up with our regular cleaning contracts, with the labor and just getting them scheduled around the construction cleaning projects. So we decided to focus strictly on janitorial and get really good and efficient at this one thing, but also offer a few tangential services that were just naturally a part of janitorial, one of which was VCT maintenance or hard floor cleaning, carpet cleaning, and window cleaning. Often if a cleaning company just takes on too many deep cleanings or construction cleanings, sometimes even one at all can just be a challenge. They're not able sometimes to focus on their nightly janitorial counts as efficiently as they could be. So here's my suggestion from an insider to you as a facility manager. Have a candid conversation with your cleaning company and ask them what percentage of your business is from janitorial versus construction cleaning or other types of services. This will give you a good insight as to how well they can focus on your building. All right, that's a facility insider tip. Now on to the poll results. Again, this was on LinkedIn over the last couple weeks. And the poll actually ran 7 days, and it was within the facilities management group on LinkedIn. Now, this group has over 187,000 members worldwide. And this was seen by several tens of thousands of people. And we received 738 votes from mostly facility managers. This is the post. It read, "I appreciate your feedback. I'm doing some research into the main reasons why a facility manager may replace their cleaning company. Feel free to add your own pain point." Now, here's the 4 questions. 107 votes for, the main reason was there's little to no communication. We got 132 votes for they're missing too many items, too many things on the scope of work. We got 136 votes saying, there's just too much inconsistency in their attendance and them showing up to work. And then a massive, overwhelming people voted poorly trained cleaning staff. This received 363 votes. And some of the comments, we're going to just highlight a few of them. And these are the top pain points from facility managers directly. Before we get into those top comments, I'm going to give a shout out to another cleaning company. I'm going to give a couple shout outs to two different cleaning companies today. One is in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, that participated in this poll. Joseph from JDM Janitorial in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas said, "Our company has onboarding processes with every cleaner. That includes OSHA and our in-house standard operating procedures before they enter a facility, and a 3-day field training before they receive a key to the building." He said, "We have hired people from much larger companies where they said they started with no formal training." And Joseph, let me just say, I have seen the same in my market in central Indiana. It is amazing. He said it kind of blew his mind. He wasn't expecting to see that, and I'm with you right there, Joseph. We have seen the same thing from a much larger company than ours. Not saying that all large companies are deficient in this way, but it is something that's harder the bigger you get to manage your managers who manage your cleaners, your frontline cleaners. And that's kind of one benefit to a smaller cleaning company such as ours. We're not anything huge by any stretch of the imagination, and so we're able to just handle our clients, like we said in the first episode, with 100% attention. Okay, top facility manager pain points. And again, if you want to see the full comment, I did truncate some of them and some of the names. I just didn't give the full names in case they weren't comfortable being on the podcast. And so if you're a part of that private group, you can go. Several people are a part of that group, so maybe you can go and look that full statement up. But Mark says this. He says, as with everything in life, you get what you pay for. You also need to know that the communication is there between your cleaning team and their own supervisor management team. And then Mark, I would completely agree with that statement. You need to know that there is good communication happening between the cleaning company that you hired, between the frontline worker and their direct supervisor. Sometimes there's a direct supervisor, maybe even a shift lead supervisor, and then area manager. Sometimes just a building manager if it's a big enough account. And then, the COO above all that. And so you need to know that you have great communication kind of up the chain of command, as it were. If this were a battlefield reference, I know there's a great book on that about business and Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink, but he talks about leading up the chain of command as well as down the chain of command. And so that's a two-way street of communication that has to take place. Your cleaning people, your cleaning personnel have to feel comfortable bringing up any concerns that they may have to their direct supervisor, and never feel like they have to walk on eggshells around them, but that they have an open line of communication. So let me go on. He says this, Mark. He says, you also need to know that your cleaning team or teams feel valued and a part of the team, regardless if they are in-house or contract cleaners. I love this because if you've have experience with both in-house teams, maybe you have an in-house maintenance team, but you outsource your cleaning team, they need to feel like they're really a part of the same team. I like to always think that your cleaning crew, whether it's in-house or outsourced, your outsourced contractors really are an extension, a direct extension of your facility team. They represent who you are. They get your jobs done. They get everything done that you need them to, and they're communicating with you. They're even a part of some of the meetings that you have. And it's important to have that two-way communication. He says the cleaning team also needs to know what is expected of them to meet the client's standards. Now, the onus for this is on their direct supervisor and managers above them. And so when you take on a new cleaning account, that gets communicated to the contractor, the cleaning contractor, and then they in turn should be communicating that down the line. He also says, as a cleaning company, our staff all receive a small gift delivered to their home at Christmas. That's awesome. Their their office staff receive a small gift delivered to their home at Christmas. He says, I make it a point each year to get my cleaners a small gift at Christmas. They all get the same thing in a gift bag. He said, I pay for this out of my own pocket, so no expense to our company. He says, I often wonder if their employer does anything extra to show their appreciation, or if my little token offering is all they get. Mark makes a perfect point of elevating your frontline staff. That's important. In COVID 2020, there was an elevation of the whole industry, cleaning industry as a whole. And I think we need to continue that elevation. It should have already been happening really with giving gifts and just, impromptu bonuses throughout the tenure that they have with you. One thing that we do, and we're going to have one of our employees on here in the next, I think 3 episodes from now. And one thing that we do for employees is we do little gift bags at the completion of their training, which is at the end of the first 2 weeks that they're with our company. They get a little, first of all, they have a little questionnaire that they fill out at the time of their interview process, where we ask them what their favorite drinks, what their favorite snacks are, what their favorite restaurants are. And then we go ahead and purchase those things and gather them together and put them in a little basket. So they get a little basket with their drinks and their snacks and just some gift cards and all of that they get as a thank you for coming and choosing our company. They could have chosen many other cleaning companies, and so it's just a thank you of coming and joining our company. Then we do random gifts and bonuses, and then some other specific bonuses throughout the year. Another shout out I want to give is to Pam from Goldfinger Services in Queensland, Australia. I apologize if I didn't say that correctly. She says, "We are a commercial cleaning company and we have never not turned up." I love that. We have never not turned up. We have a 100% attendance record. And, Pam, we have the same thing. And I just wanted to shout your company out because that is something we pride ourselves on, because maybe you're like us, maybe you're a larger company, but you have that great management style where, and there's also software that we have that alerts us when a cleaner is 10 minutes late. Now that could be for many reasons, like traffic that they're stuck in, or they're sick, or just their phone broke, or it could be a number of things. And so we're alerted 10 minutes when they're past their scheduled shift. And so we immediately know, okay, we need to try to contact them and find out why they're not there. And then if they're sick or something else happened, we know to put someone else in place. And sometimes that someone else could be one of us as the co-founders, because we just, again, give 100% attention to each of our clients. And we always make sure that we show up and clean no matter what. We have 100% attendance record and rate. All right. One other comment that we have here is from Richter. He says, budget cost and payment period. You can't get high enough quality or a shiny property or facility if you're unable to fund what outcome you wish to have. That's important. Basically, he's saying you get what you pay for. He says most companies tend to show up on the first phase of the contract, but when you start to delay the payment, it affects operational requirements of the contractor. As the usual facility manager tends to question the contractor on non-compliance, the SLAs and KPIs, or service level agreements and key performance indicators, they forget to check on the payment terms. Thus, changing your vendor time to time will not give you best results until you focus on the budget to reach your expected or desired outcomes. And so what a great thought he has there. And my thought on that would be, a lot of times cleaning contractors don't, like he's saying, you get what you pay for. But a lot of times small cleaning companies who are great and perform 100% focused value on your building, they can't float the payroll much past 45 days. So net 45. I've heard other contractors say, hey, we're not banks out here. And so it can be a real struggle. So great comment, Richter. Another comment, Douglas. Douglas says this. He says, it's been my experience, switching cleaning companies is difficult. And I think that would be many people's experience. Nobody really looks forward to doing it. He said, I would do all I could to avoid switching companies, depending on the area. He said, they are all pulling from the same labor pool, which is very small. Interesting. He says, communicate heavily with your current company. That's great. Make sure you are doing all you can to empower their staff and to provide the service you need. Douglas, great thoughts here. He says, work together. He says, communicate with them. There has to be a high level communication happening. And again, it's a two-way street. It has to go both ways. And that is key towards keeping your cleaning contractor. Sometimes you do have to move on, but when you do, consider the labor pool. But as we discussed in our first episode, no two cleaning companies are the same. So even though they're pulling from the same labor pool, it may be that you might need to switch companies because you just are going to get better managed labor pool from the next company. They know how to train the staff better and more consistently and work more hands-on with their staff and with the facility manager. Okay, Jim says, and just a few more comments here, he says, we really had problems with accountability and consistency with our cleaning crew. Once we put checks and systems in place, it has been a pretty good service. Oh, that's a great point. So a cleaning company should also be investing in these checks and balances. There's technology, there's an app that we use, there's a few different great apps, and it also has inspections built in. The goal with inspections isn't we tell our cleaners not to trick anyone, because really we want them to succeed. And so within the app, they have a very detailed line-by-line checklists that basically we get from our scope of work. The scope of work directly converts into our checklists, and so each day there might be different items that they clean on a different day, and it's all delineated for each time that they clock in. The app is such a great investment because it puts us all on the same page. Our employees know exactly what to do when they arrive after their training, of course, is over, which is very hands-on, couple-week training period that they go through. Okay, Dean says this: are your service level agreements and key performance indicators realistic? Are they realistic to the volume of cleanable space square footage to staff? Does the cleaning company have enough staff there for the amount of space that's getting cleaned? Maybe they're shorthanded staff to clean a certain level of space, and they need to bring on more cleaners. They need to bring on more supervisors and managers. And then he goes on, he says, are you proactive? Have you taken the time to walk your floors with your contract managers and site supervision? Take time to understand the challenges, and most importantly, have you taken time to meet and introduce yourself and make the contract staff feel appreciated and valid members of your extended organization? That's an awesome point. Someone else brought that up, and that's another great point. Engaging and showing an interest and a thank you for all your hard work has an amazing boost to the team. All right, these comments were very invaluable, I found. We got so many great suggestions and data points, and we learned so many new pain points and solutions that I hadn't even thought of yet. And so this poll was very invaluable to us. And so we thank you for all the people who participated, the over 700 facility managers that participated in this LinkedIn poll. Thank you for your time. All right, lastly, I want to go over real quickly transitioning to a new cleaning company. How does that work? All right, so let me just lay it out for you. As we discussed, you've heard several pain points as to why you might want to look at getting a new cleaning company. There's so many out there. We didn't even cover them all. Maybe we'll have to do another episode just to continue some of the pain points. But you realize something is not working well in your building. So you reach out to a contractor. Maybe you visit their website. Maybe you just go on Google and type in cleaning companies near me. And then you get a list on Google. And so you click on one. You go look at their website and just see what is there and if you like what you see. And so you reach out maybe by calling or emailing, or maybe they have, like on our website, we have a scheduled appointment setter. So you just go in and you pick the time, a Calendly link in our website. Then boom, we're scheduled to come show up at your facility at a time of your choosing. And so we show up. We do something very important when we arrive. The first thing we do is we listen. We listen very carefully to what specific needs you have in your building. What are your pain points? What's the reason you called? What's not working? And let's figure out a plan to make that happen efficiently and everything else you need to have happen. So what we do is a lot of times they'll have their own scope of work or SLA that they hand us. Sometimes they don't. And so in that case, we have our own that we present to you. So we provide you with a scope if you need one. And then we send you a 10 plus page packet. Now that includes the scope of work, basic company information, and that includes a price that works with your budget. It includes business references, a fact sheet about our cleaners, their training, certifications, uniform info, and then information about our cleaning app that we kind of discussed a little bit and all the implications with it, the geofencing that lets us know that they're there or not, and if they're late. Also, the staff, as we mentioned, has a cleaning checklist on their phones. And then we share with you how our inspections work. We also just kind of finalize that agreement between the two parties and get that signed, and then we agreed on a start date. The start date is interesting because that just varies completely based upon, many times it's a very quick turnaround. We've done a start date with just in a matter of a couple days. Ideally, from a cleaning company perspective, no more than 30 days would be good. 30 days is a great outlook, or 2 weeks will work as well. Once we show up on day one, what sets our company apart from other larger companies is I, as a co-founder, show up, or our other co-founder, Sarah, shows up. And on day one, we're there with the cleaner. That cleaner has already been trained here, actually, in this room, in our office building, on the restrooms here in our office, as well as all the rooms that they're going to see in your building. They have already been trained on how to clean each task. We've already sat down with them and gone over all of the safety training with them. So we're not doing any training on site on how to clean. Now, each building has different scopes of work that we go over specifically with them. And then we go over kind of a flow. My wife likes to call it a choreography. As we clean, we go through your building and we find the best way to go through your building. If it's multi-levels, and sometimes we have buildings with no elevators, and so we find the best route to go through your building. So we're not kind of going up and down the stairs from supply closet to cleaning area, from cleaning area to supply closet. We're all just going through a very efficient way, and that really helps cut costs down as well. So we have that day one, we show up, and week one, we're there. And we ensure that there is a smooth startup with all the labor, the equipment. We make sure all the supplies are on hand, or if they're not all there at your facility, that they've been ordered and that they show up. And then we have ongoing communications with you as the facility manager. All right, so that's what it looks like to transition to a new cleaning company, specifically how to transition to us as a cleaning company. Real quickly, I just want to say this. Our most recent transition kind of went like this. They had hired their own in-house cleaning staff. Well, something happened where they no longer were working with them. I'm not sure if that was due to injury, but what they did is they reached out to a staffing agency and they provided a cleaner who showed up untrained. And this company had no time to put hands-on training experience with this person who was really thrust into the cleaning from a staffing agency. So they really went through 5 different people within about 4 weeks. And, that would be a pain point right there. So they reached out to us and we've handled it since. And we've gotten great feedback that they're really happy with transitioning to our company. And that was last year when it started. And so everything has been going very smoothly so far. If you are a facility manager or property manager and you'd like to have me interview with you on this podcast, reach out to me at cleaningindy.com. And don't forget to give us a rating wherever you are. Whether it's on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, a subscribe, or if you want to listen to us on Apple or Google Play or Spotify. All right, if you'd like to learn more, visit our website at cleaningindy.com. Thanks for listening to the Cleaning Indy podcast, and we'll see you next time.